Welcome to iRise Conversations with Joan. Welcome to iRise Conversations with Joan. My name is Joan Nwosu, and I'm the award-winning author of the book iRise, The 10 Secrets to Getting Up When Life Knocks You Down. We've all heard the saying, health is wealth, but sometimes it's difficult to balance chasing wealth and living that balanced, healthy lifestyle. Many people only pay attention to their health when the body starts to shut down or you suffer from illness and disease. But we all know the physical, mental, and emotional benefits associated with wellness. So why aren't we doing it? Why are so many people still so stressed? Today, we'll explore how busy professionals like yourself can create more balance in your life so that you can live the life that you truly want and desire. Our guest today is Diane Randall. She is passionate about wellness, life balance, self-care, plant-based nutrition, and whole life wellness. Her joy is when men and women adapt health and wellness methods that reduce stress and bring harmonious balance to their lives. She excels at equipping busy professionals with workable wellness advice and strategies that fit their demanding lifestyle. She's an author, a consultant, a speaker, and college instructor who taught stress management. I'm sure we can all do with that, and resiliency techniques. Her articles have appeared in many publications, and she's been a guest on many shows, including The Oprah Winfrey Show. Her goal is to help people take the first step to live a happier and healthier life while simultaneously creating the lifestyle you truly want. Welcome, Diane, to the show.
Thank you for inviting me. I'm just so happy to be here.
So awesome to have you here. Okay, so let's start with your own personal journey, because I like to know a little bit about my guests. What led you to this path where you are of now being a wellness expert?
Well, my journey has been over 20 years. When I look back as a young engineer, mom, consultant, trying to grow a business, and being young, all the stress that I had at that time, and a single divorced mom with 2 children. So trying to navigate not only being a mom, but all the roles that I had at that time, and I wasn't doing well at all. I had high blood pressure, total stress, ulcer, you name it, I had it. And I was young. I was in my early 30s, and having to all these balls in the air, and then trying to be a single mom at the time, it was really taking a toll on my health. So it wasn't just my physical health. Maybe a decade before that, I had a sister that died. And not dealing with the emotional impact of that. And I don't know, in my era, you grew up and things happen and you just keep going. You know what I mean? Even though I didn't realize that at the time. So having the physical challenges as well as the emotional challenges, and not really being present to all that, but having the stress, having the anxiety, though that's what I carried around me every day. So not wanting to be sad like I probably was depressed, didn't recognize it, but I knew I was very sad in my life. I also knew that my health wasn't going so well, and I could clearly see down the path, because the doctor, the nurses would say, hey, if you don't get it together, you're going to have a stroke, you're going to have a heart attack. I mean, it just wasn't looking well. So I started, and keep in mind, you didn't have the internet, and it really wasn't going in the early 90s. So I literally read books. The books led me to authors and workshops, articles, all those things. I found teachers that I felt I could really get some information from. So I started to envision, what does a healthy life look like? How can I get rid of all these symptoms that I had? So the first thing was figuring out, what does wellness and balance mean to me? What is my personal wellness statement, or what does it mean to me? So that was the first thing that I looked at. I just didn't want to, and people say, man, how did you do it? I wanted to be around for my children. I wanted to be able to have a fabulous career, but also knowing that that's not going to sustain me. You know what I mean? I needed to do something to my body and my mind so that I could get the stamina and health that I needed to enjoy life. So that's what I recognized, even when I didn't have all the tools. So fast forward, workshops, just really delving into things. And when I felt better, I adapted. My food process took many years, but I started that journey as well. Not saying, oh my God, I'm going to be plant-based. I never announced that initially, all those years ago. That wasn't top of mind. But as I educated myself, talked to people, got more into wellness, never thought and never planned to be a whole living consultant or in the wellness business either. I was technology is busy professional. That's me, right? So my journey, and I'll just speed this up a little bit, has taken me everywhere. Books, workshops, travels, meeting wonderful people that have helped me to recognize what I need for myself in order to have a health as healthy as possible. There's no such thing as perfect health 100%. But what I feel is I need to do my best, what I know how to do, what's in my control to support me, and therefore showing up for the world and for my family. And I just started sharing everything that I was learning, because people were like, oh my God, you sound good. What are you doing? People started asking me that. So that's how I started in the business.
Wow.
And when I became a life coach only because I loved the subject matter. So I became a life coach. I became a holistic coach. I became a mental wellness coach. And then to sum it all up, I got a master's in spiritual psychology.
Wow.
Not to say that that's what people have to do, but that was my journey. And really wanting to help people, I felt I needed to get the professional end of it up too. So I brought all that together into my life. And today, 20 something years later, I support men and women who not only want to change their life, but who want to create the life that they want. Mm-hmm. And that is a bigger vision, I think. But it's a happier vision.
It is a happier vision and a healthier vision too, because like you said, making the money is great, but you also need the energy, the physical wellness to enjoy the money.
That's right.
That's right. You want to be around, you want to be able to do things. You don't want to just lay in bed and have all the millions and you can't enjoy it. So
exactly.
I also love how you said, what is it to you? What does it mean to you? Because I think what people are so caught up in it has to be a certain way. Oh, I can't be at the gym 3 hours a day. I just don't have time. When you define what wellness means to you by other people's standards, then you're like, okay, I don't have time for this. I can't be bothered. It's too much. I can't do this. I need to go vegan or I need to go plant-based. No, that's not going to happen. I like how you said it took years. Your transformation and your transition took years, and it's your journey. So it will be different for you compared to people that you work with. So, I really want to encourage myself and everybody who's listening today. Wellness is something that is really important. And I think we should focus more. Don't wait till you get to the point where your body starts to say, okay, I'm not functioning, having anxiety, feeling sad all the time, feeling depressed, or having illnesses. A lot of illnesses in the world are stress-based. And I really want to talk about stress, because I think people undermine how lethal stress can be. It's like, oh, I'm just a little stressed. I'll just take some painkillers and just, hide it away and just mask it. what are some of the dangers of carrying around all of that stress that people may not be aware of?
Mental health breakdowns.
Hmm.
And I noticed that just recently in COVID. Mental breakdowns, not only from the stress of COVID, but just trying to navigate this new life with everything that's going on, with the inflation, with COVID, with just the fear of all the things in our environment, and having all these messages thrown at you more than ever before from the media, all the crazy in the world just coming at you.
Mhm.
So the first thing, and I'll just say COVID really even changed how I looked at things. First of all, I turned a lot of that off. I'm not saying get off of social media, you do what you want, but how am I able to focus on myself? That's the first thing. So turning off social media, just not having any influences in your life for anything, turning off social media, finding what makes you, because if you don't turn off the TV and social media, sometimes how can you figure out what's going to work for you? Because the messages from our society tells us to look at other people in their lives. So the main thing is, how do I shut some of this noise down and focus on myself? And once you focus on yourself, it's figuring out, what do I want? How do I look at my life?
Yeah.
And look at the things that I want to improve or even stop doing. You can't see your life if you're not looking inward and not comparing yourself. So I say the bigger thing is to turn off some of this noise and figure out what is going to work for you.
Mhm.
And once you start looking into that, it's exploring. The beautiful thing is there's podcasts like yours, there's workshops, there's books. I mean, you don't have to struggle and suffer today or just experiment on everything.
Yeah.
But it's about looking at your life and not comparing yourself to anyone, celebrity, anyone, because we don't know how other people's lives really are. And I think that is the bigger issue, because you're stressed out because you don't have what other people have. That is total nonsense. So how can I look at myself and my life? It is setting boundaries around when you come up with what you want. How do you protect that? How do you set boundaries around that? It's really looking at those boundaries that you need to be clear on so that you can protect things that you want to do. Because guess what? When you start looking at yourself, you might stop doing some things that you were doing that made other people happy. Okay. So it could be a number of things.
Mhm.
So it's really, is this for me or is this for everyone else? I'm not saying become selfish. I'm saying become self-honoring. And you'd be surprised how much the stress dissipates. Stress is not a horrible thing, but when you are in fight or flight every day, that is detrimental to your body. And I thought I knew what stress was for busy professionals. Back in 2020, I had the opportunity to be a part of a teaching staff that taught Chicago police officers stress management and resilience. And just digging in and hearing their stories about what they go through, stress is a killer. It is a debilitator. So how can you learn to incorporate things like I incorporated yoga, mindfulness. I even go off on silent retreats, things that will help me to calm me, to replenish my mind and my body. What does that look like for you? And it's just investigating, figuring out, because sometimes like when we go on vacation with our family, that could be stressful. You know what I mean? Just trying to get everything together. So when I say you as an individual, it's not a crime to say, even though I'm married and I have kids, what do I need? What do I need? It's really asking those questions and going inside and really figuring that out. And it's a process.
It is. It is.
And it takes courage.
Yes.
Because you're going to have the courage to say, you know what? I've been going to this meeting or this organization, and it's not because maybe for 10 years, right? But now it does not serve who I am today. So it's recognizing those things in your life that don't serve you or serve your goals. Because guess what? With balance and wellness, things change. There's an ebb and flow, things change. And it's recognizing my life with my children, my wellness was different. My life as someone who has adult children, it's much different than it was. So it changes. Mm-hmm. And being able to look out and recognize those changes and acknowledging that you are stressed and you do need to change things. That's the big thing. That's the big thing.
I think that is the first step, really recognizing
yes.
you are stressed and you need to change. And this, like you said, there's so much help out there. There's so many resources. You don't even have to pay. There's just so much out there that you can get started on this journey. But I love what you said about, it's not about outside, it's about inside. You need to sit with yourself and go within and really find a way to calm yourself down and figure out what is it that you want. Because it's true. Social media, like people are just stressed out. You're scrolling and you're like, why don't I have that? Why are they smiling? They're always eating and they're still slim. They have more money.
That's right.
Like, it's
That's right.
One thing after the other. But the truth is, even though we all know that social media is not necessarily real, but we still believe it. We still hung up on it. We're still wanting what we don't have because we're looking at other people thinking, I should have that.
That's right. That's right.
And I know you're saying turn it off. It's difficult for a lot of people, but maybe
yeah.
Turn it off. Just reduce the amount of time you spend. What
if you just shut it down an hour a day to see what that looks like? I mean, I'm not saying it's like a drug, you know. Look,
it is.
I got off of Facebook not because I got off because I was really feeling like I had too much coming in.
Uh-huh.
And I didn't say I'm done with Facebook. What I said was I need to shut this down. I said after the election because I just felt so overwhelmed. Yeah. But then after the last presidential election, I saw myself getting more stuff done. And I'll acknowledge, I'm thinking I'm doing 30 minutes a day or whatever, but it was really more than that because those little minutes that you get on and you look at stuff, when I saw the screen time, I was just shocked.
That's the thing, right? People say, I don't have time to work out. I don't have time to prepare meals. Yeah,
that's right.
Check the screen time, how much time you spend watching the news or on social media. It's a lot.
And if you, all those things I've mentioned, it's freeing yourself up so that you can create and live the life that you want. If you're always distracted, you never get a chance to figure that out. You never do. You're just in a constant state of stress, of just being unconscious in the world and not really knowing who am I? What do I want? What do I really, really want? That's the question.
That is the question. The other thing you mentioned about boundaries. So people decided I'm stressed. I want to change. I've gone within and figured out what I want. This is what I need to do to have the life that I desire. And then reality sets in where there's people around you who don't support you. There's all of this stuff. Who do you think you are? You're this, you're not that. You have responsibilities. How do people set healthy boundaries? Knowing that it might not please everyone. And we live in a world where, well, you need to fit in. People need to like you. You need to be politically correct all the time. You have to be sensitive to everybody's feelings. How do you set boundaries?
But I feel that that's like the first thing that you have to cure. Is what you just said. Not that, I'm just this wild card, on the side, but it's recognizing those areas and it's starting small. And I started really with small things, like Like, let's say your boss asks you for a report and it's like 4 o'clock and you leave at 4:30 from work. And in your mind, you're thinking, that's my boss, I need it doing now. No, it's about, okay, I need to pick my child up at 5. So it's, I can have, when do you need it? And to me, it's not, it's saying, okay, I can have this to you by 10 o'clock tomorrow morning or 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. Because if you don't speak up, you may think that you have to stay late. And believe me, when I was in the corporation, I saw this all the time. I've got to stay late. And somehow this proves that I am a valuable employee if I stay late and get this done. And when you walk into your office the next day, you have your report. Now, I'm not, because I'm a consulting, I am not advocating that sometimes you might need to stay.
Gotcha.
But just because it's really discerning the difference between what's going on in my life. Because if I don't have my child picked up at 5 o'clock, and I remember these days, that might be $40. You know what I mean? Or that's going to cause a snowball effect. So today, most mothers, especially we have to plan that late work stuff, especially when our kids are little. So it's being able to communicate firmly and clearly about what you need in your life, because guess what? People don't know us. They don't know who we are. So you literally have to teach people how to treat you. You have to teach them where your edges are, how far they can come in, instead of just getting angry because somebody did this, somebody did that. You literally have to teach people how to treat you. And I've been teaching boundaries forever. Because every class, whether it's food, whether it's mind, body, the boundaries come up. Because if you don't have boundaries, how in the world are you going to be able to do anything for yourself? How? Yeah. And it takes courage to communicate. And I'm advocating communicating in kindness and love, not, people say, well, I can't say that. Okay. So let's say, and we've all had this experience, I'm not saying anything about cooking every year for Thanksgiving, even though I've been over it for years. And then one Thanksgiving, my brother comes and says, I want you to cook. And then I'm a crazy woman. Okay. I am tired of this. You always ask me this. So either way, it's coming out and up. So why not communicate along the way? It's about negotiation. It's about even saying, you know what? Cooking this Thanksgiving is not going to work for me. However, if everybody brings a dish, I'll bring a dish and we'll make it work. But when you don't, because people say, how do you know your boundaries are being crossed? You know immediately when every time. Okay. It's acknowledging that truth and really focusing in on each time it happens. How can I communicate my true feelings with love and kindness and courage? It's so funny. I've been teaching this so long. Sometimes I answer so quick, people look at me like, what? But I've had a wonderful journey and have communicated boundaries to people like you and my students, because I even teach a class on boundaries. Oh. It makes you stronger. It makes you clear about what you need and what you want. However, you still have empathy, you still have compassion. You're just honoring yourself. And we're not taught to honor ourselves. We're taught to look outside at everybody else. But I teach classes that help you look in, that help support you. Because guess what? When you have what you need, you show up even more for the people that you love and that you can support.
I'll be setting new boundaries with love. I agree. Boundaries are so challenging. And like you said, you know when people have crossed your boundaries. But a lot of people you don't have the courage to communicate because you think it always has to hide. It'll make me look bad. It'll make me look like I don't care. No, it's about you honoring yourself and communicating it with love. I think that is
And a lot of times those thoughts aren't really true. I mean, I even teach a class on thoughts because all that comes up. But a lot of times those thoughts aren't even true. That's just what you're telling yourself from your perspective of being insecure or afraid. You know what I mean? And the only way to know that is to test it out. To test it out. Yes, I can tell you, people will look at you, but they will respect you more because you know what? I didn't know you didn't want to do that. I'm so happy you told me. Or I'm mad at you, you didn't want to go. That's okay. I'm honoring myself.
Love it. Okay, so let's talk about honoring the body as well. And here I want to talk about plant-based nutrition. Is it a fad? I'm just gonna go.
It is not a fad. I've been plant-based for 16 years. Even though my journey to like when I was in my 20s, I stopped eating fast food. I stopped drinking Snapple and Coke. You know what I mean? It was a progression. Yeah. But plant-based, initially, I had a friend that introduced me to being plant-based years ago. And when I started having health problems and knowing that I was on my way to bigger stuff because I went through a period where I wasn't feeling good. I was scared because I had all these gut problems. I didn't know what was going on with me. And the doctors weren't finding anything. I'm anemic and all of this. It was a progression to bad health. Okay. So I did it for health initially. And I didn't do this cold turkey, like I said, over time, because there were a lot of books and information at that time. But now today, you can really have a good life and eat good food. But for me, and just focusing on eating foods with no face, no mother, and that's grown in the ground, it literally helped me transform my body. And I wasn't focused on losing weight. I was focused on eating better. And I didn't have that stress or all those thoughts and anxiety around, am I fat? You know what I mean? Yeah. Most of us grow up like that, really. we're never skinny enough, right? But here's the beautiful thing. No, but see, that's why it's about an inner journey and not looking out, because there's certainly people that can tell you what you need to do, especially if you want to pay. Okay. So it's again, it's looking inside, it's focusing on why do I want, it's like, what is your why for being plant-based? Initially, mine was, I don't want to have a heart attack. I don't want to have diabetes. I want to be here and I want to be healthy. And knowing that insurance and the healthcare system, and I didn't want to be on a bunch of medications. You know what I mean? So it's what can I do? So I've had 16 years. Again, it was a process, but here's what makes it easier today versus when I was. It's like, okay, what are you already eating? How do you tweak your favorite meal? How do you tweak your favorite meal? How do you have more vegetables on your plate, but still eat what you eat? Even if you eat, let's say, fried chicken, you usually eat 3 pieces. What if you eat 1 piece and then substituted that with more veggies? Or if, I was just sharing this with someone, if you fry food, what if you use a little bit of olive oil and oat flour instead of regular flour? You know what I mean? It's how do you find those plant-based seeds and grains and veggies and substitute and transition, that's the word, into being more healthy. So if I want a burger today, it's a black bean burger. It's a burger made with quinoa. And the food today is very delicious.
Yeah.
Because when I started, it was very tough.
I can
It
imagine.
was tough. And people think, one myth is people think you eat salads every day. But that's not true. So that journey started. It was a progress because I would say for 2 years on my plant-based journey, I still ate fish. I still ate egg whites. So it's not going to be boom, boom, boom. Because if you don't have a why and you're not true to your own needs and what you can do, you're going to fall back.
Yeah.
Because it's not, oh, I'm plant-based. No, what is your why? Because if that's not deep enough, this is just a fad.
Yeah.
It's just a trend.
Yeah.
But then for me, it was wanting that health, not wanting to be on medications, not wanting to be diabetic. You know, as I've gotten older, it's just, I want to be focused on living my life and not spending my income trying to survive. However, it's what can I do? I can't help what happens, but if something happens to me, I don't want my underlying conditions to overshadow any recovery that I could possibly have. So that's how I look at it. And then what keeps me plant-based is I'm plant-based, and I always say I'm vegan for the animals. Because once I stepped back from eating and focus, I grew a connection to the animals. What I saw in the animals is that they love, they have children, they care for their children, any animal. So for me, it was that connection that was my deeper why. So that's how I can say I will never eat another piece of meat, never, because to me, it's like eating my pet, Yeah. We love our pets. So how can we have the same love for all animals? And that's a big one. That's a big one.
Yeah.
That's a big one. That's a big one because of the conditioning from the time we came here on the planet. And there's no pressure to do anything. And that's how I navigate. I'm just going to be a model for what I do. And let me tell you, more people around me have become plant-based and vegan than if I was in their ear telling them what they should be doing. So that's what I do. And I teach. I teach classes. If you want information, I'm here to teach. That's my service, is to help people become healthier by transitioning to a more plant-based diet. Because as you know, I think I saw some stats, 1 in 4 people are diabetic or pre-diabetic, obesity in America, and it's getting worse and worse. So for me, my service is just giving information that there's another way. There's another way. So that's what I do.
Okay, so my meat lovers, well, again, I love the fact that it doesn't have to be like light switch, turn it off right now. I love the fact that it's a journey as well. You transition slowly and gradually, but I think for me, I've never had a strong enough why. And that's why, like you said, it's so easy to fall back. You're like, okay, I'm going to try this and again, once you said I'm going to try this, then you're already lost. But you have to have a strong why and commit to it and always go back to, this is why I'm doing this. It's not because it's the trend or this plant-based fancy.
Right. And if you say I'm plant-based and I'm just going to, if you say, oh, this is my cheat day, then you really don't have that foundation.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You really, and it's just inquiring about, okay, why do I need a cheat day?
Yeah.
Because if it's a true lifestyle change, you're not going to be hard on yourself. You're not going to have pressure. Even if you ate a plant-based meal and the next day you reverted back, okay, every day is a new day to start. Mm-hmm. And how's your health? How are you feeling? You know what I mean? That's how you measure. And it's immediate results. It's immediate. When I first, as I journeyed, I would say once I really focused and I wasn't eating any processed food, because it is a journey, I lost my sugar cravings. Even 16 years later, I am not addicted to sugar at all. At all. At all. So for me, that was a huge, and that wasn't something that I knew that was going to happen, because I was an addict. I love my sugar, my sweets, my desserts. Okay. That was a byproduct of becoming plant-based. And I'm telling you, I love it. And now, you know, people look at me like I'm strange. Let's say I'm at a conference and and they bring out all the cookies and stuff. I used to be the first one at the tray. But now they'll go, can I bring you something? I'm like, no, thank you. You know, if it's not vegan or plant-based, I don't want to eat it, because guess what? I'm not trying to go back. Because I know that if I start eating those sweets, okay, I can get addicted again.
Yeah. That is
so
true.
And I literally I have no desire for it.
Baby steps, everyone. Baby steps.
Baby steps. It's a process. I always say small steps equal huge results. Because if you start out small, you can be consistent about something really small. Like I remember when I was in my 20s, I said, okay, I'm not going to drink any more Coke. And I didn't. Any more soda or pop or whatever you call it. And I didn't. But it was like one little thing at a time. Mm-hmm. I didn't put pressure on myself. And even when and even like I said, I ate fish, the egg whites, and that I just stopped when I stopped.
Yeah. 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 Don't be hard on yourself. Baby steps, and just take it in your stride. You know, every day is a success. Small steps lead to huge results. So
huge results, and understand that food is really medicine. It is really medicine.
You are what you eat. Yeah, it is.
Yes.
True. It is so true. Okay, so let's talk about your book, Jumpstart Your Life. Talk about creating meaningful affirmations to help drive change in people's lives. Tell us about your book and why you wrote the book.
Okay, the book was a class that I taught for over 10 years. It started out as an article that I wrote for a magazine. Then I turned it into like a speech, you know. And then when I was creating a course, I turned it into a course. Because what it is, it helps people to free themselves up and focus on what they really and look at. Okay, first you start off, you look at your life, look at the areas that you want to improve. There's 10 exercises. You look at the areas that you want to improve. Once you find the areas, you take those 2 areas and you look at all the priorities that you currently have, and then you rewrite the priorities that you really want or need to really focus on those areas. So that's one thing. And the next thing is you look at what are you doing. As you examine, you realize the things that you're doing that don't serve you. And I talked about the meeting. I talked about a job I've been on for 30 years that I've hated for the last 5. It's really honing in on those things that just don't serve you. And it's really about, in the beginning, where are the areas I can free up time so I can reprioritize and focus on those things. And the next thing is I have people do, it's like a short essay of visualizing yourself in your life with these things that you integrated that you want to improve. It's just visualizing yourself in that life that you want to create. And it has to be at least 60% doable.
Okay.
60%, but it's just writing from your head, not writing and erasing. It's just free flowly writing. And you take that information and I have you create 2 affirmations. And I have you create 2 affirmations for each thing that you want, because that's what you're going to, when you go home, you're going to take those affirmations, you're going to put it on your mirror, you're going to put it on the mirror in the bathroom, you're going to put it on your, and you're going to really keep reading those 2 affirmations, because what happens when you read something over and over and over again, it starts to integrate. It keeps what you want in the forefront of your mind. So it's recognizing that. And then from that, I have you, okay, what actionable steps, at least one step, can you take to start making what you want real? It could be 2 steps, but it has to be something, even if when you leave the class, if you want that master's, is calling the school or getting online and doing your research to see what that's going to take. It has to be realistic. And from those, because in the workshop, it's a plan, it's a worksheet, and 2 actions. And I have a disaster. What happens if I fall off? I have a disaster recovery plan to help you get back on. I talk about the mind and the spirit and balance, and some of the things we've talked about today, because you need all those things to support your reality, the boundaries, the balance, all those things, and celebrating the small steps. So if I wanted that master's degree, I explored it and I got accepted, that is a celebration, not waiting until you finish. Yeah. So if I wanted to become plant-based, and that's what I wanted to focus on, I literally ate more plant-based food today. I had 1 side. That's a celebration. But it's all about the improvement, the consistency, 1 step at a time. Practice. It's a practice. It becomes your practice, because that's how you get better with the practice. And I remember before I learned what I even liked in vegetables, because, I didn't eat a lot of vegetables many years ago, but it's going into the vegetable aisle and trying 1 new vegetable a week. That's how I learned. It's to stop telling myself I hate beans. It's opening my palate up to say, okay, I'm going to eat some black beans. I'm going to eat some pinto beans. It's really evolving into that person you want to be. How do I become that person I want to be? I can't become it unless I practice every day. Because the question I ask people, think about what you do on a daily basis. Does it add up to who you want to be or what you want to do? And if the answer is no, you're never going to get there. So what are you doing on a daily basis? On a daily basis. And I'm not talking about anything big. What are you doing? Even if it's looking at your plan to see, okay, let me see, what did I do today that supports my vision that I created? So that's what that book is all about. And it's a guide. It's a guide.
Yeah, it sounds amazing. And there's just so many things. I'm not going to go over everything, but people should go get the book, Jumpstart Your Life, because I think everyone could do with a guide. And I think that's what you've done. You've created a blueprint to help people achieve the life that they want. Not the life that they see on social media or the life that their parents have told them, this is who you need to be, but a life that you truly want, and a life that you're not trying to fix every single area of their lives at the moment. It is and then come up with 1 or 2 action-enable items and just start taking those tiny steps.
That's right. That's right.
I think the key word there is daily, not, I'll start January 1st, 2023.
That's right. Oh my God.
Why are we waiting to post it? Like, what's so special about January 1st? Like,
well, January, that is a marketing, societal, crazy thing. Because if you're doing what you want and what you need, that just becomes something you hear.
Exactly.
It's not about starting anything new, because just like at the gym, and we all know this, I'm going to the gym January 1st. By March, it's back to the peak. That's right. So it's taking those small, it's writing out those steps, and then setting goals, and then actions to really support those steps.
Taking the action. I love it. I love it. There's so many motivational speakers out there.
That's right.
You get home and there's just nothing to keep you on track. But
that's right.
Something that people can constantly use consistently. That way, once you've accomplished a goal, you can go back, start all over again, pick another area of your life and repeat. So rinse and repeat till you get.
It's exercises. It's exercises, because as you just said, it's not about me telling you what you need to do. We're all different. We're all unique. We all want different things.
And we all know what we want deep down inside.
That's right. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Do you think I should just seek and validate?
Oh my God. Oh, I remember being younger and I'd ask 3 or 4 people what I should do.
Yeah.
But that's what we do, right? Until you learn that it's really not about anybody else. And I would advocate, unless it's a like-minded person, someone that's doing the same thing, I wouldn't even ask, because they don't understand. Our friends and family love us, so they love whatever we do. But it's because if people don't understand, oh, it's so stressful. It's like, why did I even say anything? But it's having those like-minded people around you that can support you. I love that. I love when I realized that, it's finding that tribe of folks, wellness coaches, other personal growth teachers. So I can just have a conversation without, people taking what I say, personalizing, and me having to explain everything I just said. You know what I mean? It's that ease of conversation, of sharing with people that are so open, so excited for you. It's just finding that like-minded group that supports you, what you want.
Absolutely. And set boundaries with the others.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Boundaries. We learned about love, of course.
Yeah. It's true. It's really true.
Wow. So honestly, I think what you do is amazing. I think we need more people like you in the world to really help people actualize their dream life. So it's not just the dream. Really show people that it can be done. It's inside of you. You have everything you need. If you just go within, come up, decide what you want, come up with a plan, take those steps.
Yeah.
Surround yourself with the right people. And I also love that you not only teach how you can have a better life, but also wellness, how your body can be better. But again, finding that why and just committing to it and taking baby steps.
That's right.
Awesome. Right. Thanks. So one final question though, because some people might be there rolling their eyes and I'm too busy. Look, I'm busy. I don't have time for any of this stuff. I would love to, maybe in 5 years when I retire. What advice do you have for the really busy professionals today?
Okay, I've changed what I say. Are you too busy for diabetes? Are you too busy for dialysis? Are you too busy? Think about that. Because if you're not taking care of your body, it changes. If you're not taking care of your mind, it changes. And I'm not saying start the gym. I'm saying really truthfully looking at yourself. So are you really too busy? Because if you are, then fast forward 5 years from now, you have all these chronic conditions and nobody's perfect. I mean, sometimes even with what I do and things will come up, I'm like, dang, but it's that effort, because you have no control over the environment. You have no control over a lot of things, but you do have control over what you put into your body and what can keep you as well and whole as possible. That's within your reach. So yeah, are you too busy to deal with chronic conditions 5 years from now? That's the question I ask now.
That was an I felt that one.
You said, ouch.
Ouch. I was like,
I say it like that to give you something to think about. Because I used to take people through a timeline. I don't even do that anymore. You know what I mean?
That was a huge ouch and really something to think about. And I really hope that people take the time to think about it, because health is wealth at the end of the day.
It is wealth. It is wealth. And today we have so many unhealthy things coming at us than ever before. So it's knowing that. Even if you start looking at one thing your audience can do right away is the next time they're in the store is turn that package over and look at the ingredients.
50 different things. And you don't even recognize 49 of them.
And if it's more than 5 and you don't recognize it, I would say don't buy it. Because those are the things that we put into our body unknowingly. I'm not blaming anybody, unconsciously. And that's what's making us sick. But a lot of it is because we don't know what and it's understanding food. You don't have to go to school like I did, but it's really reading. You can even Google stuff today and understand, okay, what am I eating? Yes, now it's intentional, because people say, you mean I gotta start thinking about what I eat. You know what? Healthy eating is intentional. It really is.
Healthy everything in life, anything in life.
It's intentional. It's intentional. Yes.
Else, it's just like you said, you're just unconsciously living. It's just wake up. You're just like a robot.
Yep. And then bam, I got this disease. I got this. I got that. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't even know how I got it. And you really don't, because it was very unconscious.
Yeah.
You know, it said natural on the box. Yeah, but did you turn it over and really see what it was? I'm joking now, but I'm serious at the same time.
It is true. Awesome. Thank you so much, Diane, for being here with us today. So many food for thought. We're thinking about our health, our wealth, our wellness, our mind, our body, everything. But thank you so much for sharing so much wisdom with us today. And I really do hope that your message continues to flow and spread all over the world, because more people need to hear this message. More people need to take charge and control of their wellness so that they can go ahead and create the life that they truly desire.
And thank you for allowing me to talk to your audience. Thank you so much.
Okay, so thank you everyone for joining us today. I hope you thoroughly enjoyed that. I sure did. And I will see you same time next week on iRise Conversations with Joan. Thanks for listening.